Okay, let's talk about Matthew Stafford because we haven't talked about him enough on my channel the last few hours. No, it's been reported that he wants out of Detroit, that he basically wants out. And if it were to, I mean, the Niners probably be interested. They would have the 12th pick to offer. Is Matthew Stafford worth that 12th pick? Maverick, you start.
I personally wouldn't trade if we're saying like right after the offseason ends or right when the offseason starts and you're allowed to make the trade. I don't know if I would pull that trigger right away. I think I would wait a little to see what Houston does with Deshaun Watson, just because what is his asking price going to be if that ends up falling where they're just saying, okay, we got to get rid of him. If you can get Watson for less than 3 first-round picks, you got to pull that. So, and if you're looking and you just got Stafford for 1, yeah, that will be great for 2 years. But if you could get your franchise guy for a while, who knows? But Stafford for the 12th, I think, is as close to a good trade for a quarterback as I think you can get for value-wise. If you just have to trade 1 pick, I think that's a pretty good deal for the Niners.
Yeah, for me, the 12th is just too valuable. This is not a team that's going to find themselves picking in the top 15 too often. Stafford's 33 years old, and I just don't think it's worth it to part with a pick that high for a quarterback like Stafford who is reaching the tail end of his career. Yes, he's an upgrade from Jimmy Garoppolo. Absolutely. Anybody that says that Matthew Stafford is not an upgrade over Jimmy Garoppolo isn't watching what's going on. But I don't think he's that significant of an upgrade where you part with an asset like the 12th overall pick. Personally, I'd rather bring back Garoppolo and upgrade the backup position, whether it's in the draft or in free agency, than trade that 12th overall pick for Matthew Stafford. And I was looking at his cap hits. He's owed $33 million next season. I don't know what the 49ers would have to pay for that. So you already have all these free agents. You're losing cap space and you're losing a draft pick to replenish some of the vacancies. So I'm out on Matthew Stafford trading the first-round pick this year. If we're talking a 2022 first, sure. If we're talking a couple second-round picks, sure. But it's off limits. The 12th overall pick, is off limits in a Stafford trade.
Well, you were asking what it would cost the Niners. There is a $13 million prorated bonus, I think, this year. So I think it would cost the Niners 20. So I think the money-wise isn't it's not a deal breaker. The question is the draft capital that you're trading. And
yeah,
I framed it as, is he worth the 12th pick? Well, he would. That's two different questions there. Is he worth the 12th pick to the 49ers? You could argue that they need that 12th pick more than they need him. Also, he would fetch the Lions more than the 12th pick. He's worth more than 1 pick. He would get a first this year and at least a second next year, or a second this year, or a first next year. A lot of people are going to want that guy. A lot of people think he's really, really good. So is he worth the 12th pick? Yeah, because the Lions can get that plus for him. Should the Niners give it up, though? I'm not into it. I don't like it. Either. And let me tell you why. Like, Matthew Stafford his highlights are amazing. He's got a great arm. He has good footwork. It looks right most of the time when he plays, but I do notice that he takes a lot of hits. You know, most good quarterbacks don't. Peyton Manning didn't take a ton of hits. Tom Brady doesn't take a ton of hits. He does. And, you know, that's an issue because he'd be playing behind the worst pass protection in the league. The Niners aren't in a position to protect him. And I think you need to protect Matt Stafford or be prepared to miss him for a little bit. So that's an issue right there. And then also, I don't know if people realize it, that guy's never won a playoff game, ever. He's 0-3 in the playoffs. And again, like, it's not all his fault. He's on a bad organization. But if he's as special as people say, if he's that much better than Jimmy Garoppolo, you'd think he'd win like 1 playoff. He's almost 33. Like, Matt Ryan is also in a bad organization. He's been on tough teams where he's had to carry everything. Yeah. He had Julio Jones. I mean, Matthew Stafford had Calvin Johnson.
He didn't have Jim Bob Cooter as his offensive coordinator. Stafford's
Cooter's pretty bad.
Yeah.
I mean, he's been in situations with no run game, no defense, 1 wide receiver, just like Stafford. And the guy's 4-6 in the playoffs. He's made it more. We don't need to talk about Matt Ryan yet. That's next. All I'm saying is, I think I'm out on Matt Stafford too. He's a little too expensive. The Niners don't have the offensive line to protect him. And he might be just a little overrated because he throws such a pretty ball. And he really does. He really does.
Yeah. The 2021 first is off the table, but if we're talking any other draft picks, I'm down to trade for Matthew Stafford because I do think he's an upgrade. Just margin is not enough to garnish that 12th overall pick, in my opinion.